Hey everybody, Tactic Angel here, back on the PlayStation 4, playing some World of Warships Legends. We're on Neighbors. So, Tactic Angel, what have you been doing with your life this last week? Good question. Good question. I haven't made a video in a couple days. I've been kind of biding my time, hoping that the Scharnhorst would come out this weekend, so I could create another review for you guys. That said, that's not happening. So, the Scharnhorst is coming out on Monday, so I might as well explain myself. And the peculiar circumstances of my last week, because I got a duplicate commander, and we all know how good that feels. So in this case, I got a Dewey, and we all know who Dewey is. He's the basic commander for the American ships. And the thing is, like, once you get Dewey and you get a duplicate, all of a sudden now it turns Dewey from just like this ordinary guy into just a complete boss. Like, first of all, you had to always respect the mustache. Now it's even more impressive. One can only imagine the levels of stardom that Dewey rises to if you can get like 26 duplicate crates. I'm hoping they fix that by the time that I have to wonder. So anyway, we've decided we're gonna make Dewey our Kidd commander, and I have him in no other ship other than this. And here you can see I've started out the game. I'm going up the middle to kind of try to capture B. I'm gonna speed this up because there's like a minute and a half here where I just kind of hope and pray that I manage to capture this base. There's another Kidd on my team. That sounds weird. Anyway, so there's another Kidd on my team, and he is dropping a smoke screen. I'm going to go ahead and use that in order to shoot these ships from a stealthy position. So I've got Dewey in this thing, and I've picked up the legendary skill that allows me to have one extra consumable per consumable that I have. That allows me to essentially have 3 smoke screens, 3 heals, and 3 engine boosts, which to me seems like a pretty big win. I've also gone ahead and used Sims as an inspiration because he's only being used in this boat. And if he's only being used in this boat, I'm picking up, a certain amount of hit points per tier based on Sims legendary or Sims base trait. And I'm starting out with 1,700 or 17,000 hit points, which is huge for Destroyer to begin with. And I have 3 heals on top of this. And this is really what's helped me like kind of reconceptualize what I think about the Kidd. Now, this is a build that's based on getting very specific things. Which, does that mean you should buy the Kidd? Not necessarily. Certainly, if you're out there and you have a legendary Dewey, it's an option for you. This is just me screwing around with the current system, and I really do love the system for the commanders, as opposed to what we find on World of Warships on the PC, or World of Tanks, even on the console. I find this system to be really comfortable to work with. I'm a little bit disappointed about like the lack of customization between individual ships, and I'm very disappointed with the fact that it's based completely on a loot box system. But when you're playing within the system, it does offer you a lot of flexibility and creativity. And that's one of the things that I really like. It's also not charging you to switch your commander back and forth between different ships like it would be in World of Tanks, charging you to shift commanders between different tanks. So now you see I'm using one of those smoke screens. I'm going to go ahead and put a whole bunch of shells out on this Congo. This is my own smoke screen, so thankfully somebody else can see him, and I'm just, laying out fire without a care in the world, because he can shoot at me, and you saw that he just tried, but he's probably not going to hit a whole lot because he's not going to get the benefit of the target lock, and the truth of the matter is he has only kind of a vague understanding of where I actually am. But we're doing a pretty respectable amount of damage already. As you can see, we're over 80,000 hit points, and you know, we've got several minutes left in the game. I do like American destroyers in terms of this kind of gameplay. You have a lot of shots. You tend to be able to add a lot of damage by withering away opponents. These are fast-firing 5-inch guns, and they're just lovely. But we are going to have to get out of the smoke screen here in a second and actually try to contribute a little bit more, because this guy's getting kind of far away from me to actually hit consistently. And my smoke screen is not going to last forever. You can see I've got under a minute left. Might as well try to go find other things to do with my life. So here we go. We're sailing over towards A. I feel pretty comfortable sailing over towards A because for some reason I always do. And certainly on a destroyer, there's no reason why this is a better play than heading over towards C. Other than that, it looks like pretty much all the enemy team is still over there. That guy in the Congo is still on fire. You can see the damage total ticking upwards, and that's nice. It's definitely making us look good. And we've got a couple of ships over here. We've got a Colorado, and he is being escorted a little bit by a New Orleans, but it looks like the New Orleans might be trying to go around to the other side of the island. And that's kind of good for us because that will allow us to kind of swing around and ambush him. That said, first we got to deal with this King George V. He is in our base and capping it. It's not going to make a whole heck of a lot of difference. The truth of the matter is, if I let him cap it, I probably would have had a better game, but probably would have also had a worse game. You'll understand what I'm saying in like a minute or two. In any case, we finish him off. King George V is no more. And now we're going to look to that Colorado. We're at 105,000 damage. That's pretty solid. Usually if I do more than 100,000 damage in a destroyer, I'm very, very happy with myself. Because for the most part, when I'm playing a destroyer, I'm really out there to play the objectives more than anything. So as you can see, that New Orleans is heading around the west side of that island, and I am going to turn towards the east side of the island. And I'm going to try to get as close as I possibly can to that Colorado and see if I can't use my torpedoes on him. Now, the weakness of the Kidd, such as it is that it only has the one set of torpedo tubes, which is oftentimes why I would suggest people don't consider this ship. You trade those torpedo tubes for this heal and also the extra AA support. Now the AA support is not much of an advantage right now. You can shoot down a lot of spotter planes, but it's not really doing a lot for your team. The heals are kind of interesting, and if you play it correctly, it's useful. And I've certainly built this Dewey build around the idea that I'm going to try to make my ship as survivable as possible. Now you see I've opened up on this ship. The reason why I did so is when I got to that point, I started thinking, Tactic Angel, you stupid person. You usually spend all this time like not shooting at people because you don't want them to notice you. And when I started shooting at him, I immediately realized, oh yeah, that's the reason why. Because he might get a notification that I'm there, but he doesn't really start to notice that I'm there until I start doing damage to him. In that case, he looked towards me, and then it looked like he had disconnected for a second, and then started looking back towards me. And the entire time, I could feel that I'd taken my life in my own hands. Now, in this case, we managed to get out of it pretty okay. Unless he had HE loaded, I was probably going to be fine from the get-go, but you never know when your ship's going to detonate. And I still don't want to learn that. So we're heading around towards that New Orleans. We're actually doing really well. We're thinking, we got 4 kills. Maybe we can finish this guy off. Get our Kraken unleashed. Here you can see I'm just pouring shells into him. And then, of course, the game ends. And that's what I'm talking about with the King George V. There you go. I have completed that 150,000 hit point challenge. Good times. Strange that I did it on this ship than anything else. As you can see, I have still not bought Admiralty backing. We make a healthy amount of money, 467,000 on 161,000 damage. There you can see I'm at the top of the list for my team. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I'll see you on the next one.